This is my mum and dad's, my mum's mum and dad. They're Walkers, Maud and Henry. This is my grandfather on Lapa Beach and a friend, Mr. Barber.
So which one's your grandfather?
This one, and that's Mr. Barber. Practicing their boomerang throwing. This is my mum and dad, Linda Longbottom and William Longbottom. Oh, this is the Freedom Ride that my mum was on with Charlie Perkins. They was on their way to Canberra protesting. Right. My mum was very political back in the day. She was on that Freedom Ride. I remember when I was little that, like, I was sitting at the hospital and the other Aboriginals were sitting outside. And I remember asking my mum, why are they sitting outside? How come they're not inside with us? She said, I don't know. So she went and opened the door and brought them all in. So from then on, she worked with the doctors up there at the hospital. You know, if they were sick or anything, she made sure they seen a doctor.
I actually made a decision to do my nan's story, and it was through that I learned that, you know, my nan was born on the beach at Lapa. She lived in a tin shack. You know, my grandmother and grandparents got married in Lapa Church. And I started to see photos of Nan with other well-known, you know, Aboriginal activists like Aunty Dulcie Flowers, Uncle Chicka Dixon, Charles Perkins, you know, and I started to question about, oh, so what's Nan doing here?
It's the Aboriginal Progressive Association Executive Committee of 1938, as my grandfather, George Sherritt. My grandmother, she was born, 19... See, all the people that lived in Saltpan come and live here as well. La Perouse. My grandparents, great-grandparents, Ellen and Uwe, they owned land over there at Saltpan Creek. That's where they lived. And back in those days, all Aboriginals travelled and lived. A welcome to each, wherever you go, any camp, a welcome to live.
They used to travel to like camp on where near the Opera House is, where the Opera House bar is. There used to be like a boat shed where they used to camp.
As well,
used to travel back, go in there and camp, and they'd sell their shell work and things like that. And then they'd travel back. So that I know that's one of the places that they used to camp as well. But there's lots of different places around.
A lot of places used to travel, yeah.
Until I guess when they weren't allowed to travel or leave without permission.
Which, yeah.
This is my great-grandmother, Queen Emma. She was a Sims. She married Trimmer Timbry. This is my grandfather and grandmother. It's John Henry and Maud Sims. And he used to make the boomerangs. This is my dad, George Longbottom, and he's laying the boomerang on the cenotaph down at Martin Place. He come from Coolangatta on the south coast, down the Illawarra, and he come out to Lapa, and that's when he worked for my grandfather. Dad used to throw the boomerangs for him down the loop. They were selling boomerangs down there. They had pony rides, and met Mum, and that was it. It didn't go back.
My great-grandmother, Emma Jane Cook, was a midwife. She delivered a lot of Aboriginal people on the mission here. That was her life. She was like I suppose, an angel or something. I don't know what words to put it into. She, tended to the sick and looked after them, delivered their babies and helped to bury her people, which would have been a hard thing having a family of your own, but that's what she did.
So this is my dad, Thomas Williams, and he was born in Paddington Hospital, and he comes from this area, Larbaroos and Saltpan Creek. He worked at Boral for a while, and then later on he worked for the Aboriginal Affairs, and he received an OBE for his work. And he was always with his family, helping other people in the community. And so we squatted in Yarra House to get that for the children, to have a preschool. And Dad and Leanne and our family was a part of it. And still today the Gajaga still going.